Hey you guys, I just wanted to stop the time lapse really quick. This particular sketch I started and then I realized that I wanted to show you guys some techniques and some application, not only in Clip Studio Paint Pro, but also just a process of how I go about accomplishing digital illustration, kind of using traditional methods. Of course, you see Beans sitting here. I dragged him over to my Cintiq companion. First, the initial illustration was done on my Surface Pro 2, and then I had such a great time doing it. I put him on my Cintiq companion, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I finished out the rough sketch, and that's where you guys saw this. And then, you know, I started playing around with different techniques because there's so many brushes that Clip Studio Paint offers. Now, this is a lot of brushes. I mean, I probably have over 200 brushes in here. And do I use them all? No. And it's kind of funny because whenever you first look at brushes, and this happened in Photoshop, whenever I first got into Photoshop, I thought brushes were kind of the greatest things in sliced bread. What I found myself doing, and this is pretty similar to what other artists experience, is you basically get a few brushes that you like and you kind of move from there. You know, I experiment a lot with different programs and different illustrations techniques, but I kind of go back to the old drawing, you know, the way that I draw. This particular brush, I believe, is the opaque watercolor brush, and I like this particular one because of the way that it overlaps. You know, you can sit there and really get, you know, depending on how far, how high, or I'm sorry, how hard you push, you know, you get a nice look to it. Once I started getting to this, I realized that I didn't really like the way that it was going to turn out. So I used a different brush, and it's a pencil, which is basically the rough pencil. This does come with Clip Studio Paint. And I went ahead and I inked him. Very rough, very kind of children's book. I like that texture that it gives. And what's nice about this particular program is you can go in and you can change the texture of your pencil, which is really nice. I'm not going to do that right now. But it's got a ton of textures. You know, you can basically decide on what your pencil will look like. And of course you can save, and you can have your custom brushes, and you can change your brush density. And all these things kind of are added on to the existing you know, the existing rung of brushes here. I just, you know, I like tools, but I don't like them to overrule me, and I don't like to rely upon them per se, because I want to be able to go in and really just have fun with it. So, that being said, this is kind of where I landed on my Cintiq companion when I was sitting on the couch the other night. You know, a lot of life. I like his gesture a lot. I like where he is. You know, I kind of decided, is he going to be in space? Is he going to be underwater? I kind of like him in space because you would never, not see an alligator in space. And I really roughly blocked in this light shape to possibly be a planet. Maybe this is going to be something he's going towards. I really don't know. And then I thought, why don't I add Frank in there? Frank's kind of floating in space down here to kind of fill up. Again, you have that classic composition, that pyramid composition that kind of balances things. Now, he's off to the left a little bit too much, and I haven't decided if I'm going to bring him up a little bit. And, you'll see that whole thought process as I go along. I did thumbnail this, but of course, whenever you thumbnail something, you want to be able to establish your composition. You want to establish exactly what you're doing, because once you get in this stage, you're going to basically screw yourself over to the point of not being able to finish something effectively. So I might actually go back to the thumbnail stage and kind of decide on what I'm going to do. But in the process, what I basically did was I blocked in the color. Of course, I moved in. There we go. I blocked in the color to kind of get a rough understanding of exactly the direction I wanted to go. And then, I put in some shadowing here. My light source obviously is going to be really backlit, but I also wanted some kind of a light source over here, and I wanted some rim lighting. Maybe there's something going on over here. Again, I'm not really happy with the composition right now, so what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to go back kind of to the drawing board and basically kind of figure out exactly the direction this particular illustration is going to go. I wanted this to be kind of a process that you guys can view, but what has happened in the midst of doing this particular illustration, I've had a giant pile of work land on my desk and in my world. So this particular piece is going to be put on hiatus for a little while. I will be doing other videos in the midst of this piece, but I wanted to kind of show the tools that are available to you guys and the processes for illustrating something not only for a children's book, but maybe some story concept art, and it just depends on what you are interested in doing. Anyway, as you see, I'm kind of playing over on the right-hand side. Who knows what I'm doing? For those of you who are interested too of what particular screen recording software I use, it's called ScreenFlick. Currently what you guys are looking at, of course, is an Apple Macintosh computer. I'm not sure if they offer ScreenFlick for the PC. However, it was really hard for me to find something that worked, and a really good buddy of mine, Brian Allen, uses ScreenFlick, and I think Aaron Blaze uses ScreenFlick as well. And it doesn't bog your machine down whenever you use it. Whenever I was looking at videos, I was always wondering, what software are they using? Because the stuff that I was finding was it was so hard to use, and it bogs stuff down. Anyway, this is kind of the beginning of a larger illustration of beans in space. Hopefully I'll get back to this soon and wrap this up. If not, I'll definitely post it on Instagram. But thank you guys. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. And I will definitely be posting more as I get stuff done. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. See you next time.